It was a Tuesday like any other in our tidy suburban cul-de-sac, the kind where you mow the lawn, wave at neighbors, and pretend you don't notice their kids stealing your Amazon packages. I was already on edge. Some punk had doused our mailbox with cheap cologne for a dumb social media prank, and the garbage truck had skipped our street, sparking a frantic group text from Lisa, the neighbor who treats every loose trash bag like a national emergency. 36 messages in 8 minutes, one cat meme, and a photo of a single trash bag captioned, "This is why we can't have nice things." So when I trudged out to the backyard to toss some garden clippings behind the woodpile, I wasn't exactly in a zen mood. What I didn't expect was to find a 50-something guy in khaki shorts, clutching binoculars and a half-eaten granola bar, hissing shush like I'd caught him robbing a bank. At first, I thought he was a creep or maybe a drifter. My voice cracked as I half-yelled, "Hey," expecting him to bolt. Instead, he waved me off like I was interrupting his morning coffee and whispered, "Go back inside. This is official business." Official business? In sao mi sao buckyat? That's when I got a good look at him, Walter Grayson, our HOA president. The guy who'd once slapped me with a Law 50 fine for inconsistent shrub height and plastered laminated flyers about proper mailbox aesthetics in everyone's mailboxes. Walter wasn't just lurking behind my woodpile. He was full-on spying, scribbling in a notebook like a wannabe detective. I was about to ask if stalking neighbors was in the HOA bylaws when sirens wailed in the distance, getting louder fast. Then came the barking ferocious, unhinged. Walter's eyes widened. "Stay back," he hissed. "They can't know I'm here." Before I could process that, a 90-pound German shepherd named Sergeant our Sheriff's K9 vaulted over the fence like a furry missile. 1 second, the hibiscus was standing. The next, it was mulch, and Sergeant was on Walter's back. My wife, Emily, screamed, dropping a pitcher of iced tea that shattered on the patio. Walter squealed like a pig at a barbecue, limbs flailing, cursing in a pitch I didn't know men could hit. Sergeant emerged, tail wagging, while Walter lay face down, clutching his rear and muttering about lawsuits. By the time the sheriff's cruiser rolled up, the neighborhood was a circus. Retirees materialized like they'd teleported, drawn by the sirens. Lisa was filming, narrating like she was on a true crime show, her neighborhood watch VY sore tilted just so. Old man Jenkins stood shirtless, gripping a weed whacker like a prop from Zombie Flick. Some kid I'd never seen was live-streaming on his phone. Sheriff Daniels stepped out, glanced at Walter, then at me, then at Sergeant, who sat proud as a peacock. "Funny thing," Daniels said, sliding on his sunglasses. "We weren't here for him." That flipped the script. I'd assumed Walter was just being his usual overzealous self. But if the sheriff wasn't after him, who were they chasing? Walter sat up, wincing, still cradling his backside. "I demand a lawyer," he croaked. Daniels held up Walter's notebook, which had fallen in the scuffle. Pages of scribble license plates, timestamps, sketches of houses, including ours, marked with red X's. My name was there, Carter residence. Suspicious package deliveries. Investigate. Emily, pale as a ghost, asked, "Who's watching us?" Walter stared at a patch of weeds, dead serious. "I don't know yet, but they're out there." The sheriff's radio crackled. "Found another one. Behind the Miller's garage. Live feed active." My stomach dropped. "A camera." We checked the woodpile, and there it was, a blinking red light nestled between logs and a bag of charcoal. Dusty, wired to blend with the bark, it wasn't some kid's prank. This was pro-level creepy. Walter, for all his lunacy, might not have been totally unhinged. The neighborhood buzzed with paranoia. Lisa's VY Deos went VY Ral. Captioned, "HOA President bleeds. Is this espionage?" Walter, patched up in an ambulance, kept muttering about them and someone named Diane, his ex-wife, who'd vanished after their divorce. Emily and I couldn't sleep, replaying the chaos over a bottle of wine. That night, I crept back to the woodpile with a flashlight and found another camera smaller, older, hidden deeper. Its red blink mocked me like a tiny heartbeat. Someone wasn't just watching Walter. They were watching Saw. Deputy Ramirez showed up the next morning with coffee and news. 3 more cameras, all identical, all encrypted, pointed at houses tied to HOA complaints. Walter's house had a panic room soundproof, lead-lined with safes full of photos and notes. One had my name, moved recycling bin 2 feet left. Non compliant. Twisted but methodical. Walter wasn't just nosy. He thought he was building a case. Then Diane called. She wanted to meet at a diner outside town, saying the neighborhood wasn't safe. She looked like she slept with a rulebook under her pillow, blazer crisp despite the heat. Iced tea untouched. It started when Walter fired the landscaping company, she said. He raised HOA fees, sent fake notices for community projects, and pocketed the cash. She slid a thumb drive across the table. 30 grand at least. And there's more. He was being watched, too. The drive held invoices from the mayor's office to a fake company, Greystone Gardens, for $500,000 in landscaping that never happened. I pored over Diane's files that night, eyes burning. Fake before and after photos, padded invoices, all signed by the mayor's assistant. Emily muttered, "This is a racket." She wasn't wrong. Ramirez brought more. A blurry photo of a hooded figure planting our camera, likely a teenager, and news of another camera at the Millers. Then, at the town's poodle parade, I snapped. The mayor was supposed to speak, but the podium was empty. I grabbed the mic. Our homes are being watched. Our privacy sold. $500,000 for mulch that doesn't exist. I held up an invoice. The crowd froze. Then a golf cart roared through the parade. Mayor Thompson, fleeing. Sergeant broke free, tackled the cart, and the mayor went down screaming. The crowd erupted. Thompson was arrested for embezzlement and obstruction. The HOA was dissolved, replaced by a council led by Diane. But the cameras kept coming. One, sleek and silent, was under my garage eaves, streaming to an overseas server. Then, an envelope appeared on my porch. Photos of Walter, some from his own living room, the last showing him in a basement, time-stamped hours earlier. He vanished that night, reportedly climbing into a dark van, calm as you please. His garage had a secret room with plans for a surveillance network spanning states, maybe countries, cross-referencing financial and medical data. Feds swooped in, black suits and stone faces cutting us off. The neighborhood tried to move on. We had barbecues, planted flowers, and Sergeant napped on porches as our mascot. But the paranoia lingered. People eyed streetlights like they might bite. Then, a brown box appeared at my door, a hard drive. I plugged it in, heart pounding. A map of our town loaded, my house at the center, with hundreds of dots moving in real time, tagged with initials and habits. JC, early riser. 2 coffees by 8 a.m. Garage door, open 6:45 p.m. I slammed the laptop shut, stepped onto the porch, and stared at the sky. No blinking lights. But it didn't matter. Someone had built a system, and it worked. What do you think? Did Walter stumble into a global conspiracy, or was he just a paranoid pawn? Is our neighborhood the only one being watched, or is this happening in your backyard too? Who's really behind those cameras, and what do they want with our data? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if this freaked you out, and subscribe for more stories that'll make you question everything.